So the project management professional, or the PMP certification, it's recognized internationally. It started in the United States, and a little bit after the PMP credential came on, it was started being available publicly in 1984. Prince 2 in England was starting, and Prince 2 was growing through a parallel collaborative effort in the United Kingdom, in England, and they were actually supporting it through the United Kingdom's government as well. So it's a combination of both. There are minor differences, but wherever the English government went, and wherever British English project managers went, they tended to take the Prince 2 with them. And the same thing with us. We, in the United States, we took the PMP, and currently PMP has a little bit more traction. I'm not here to justify one or the other. I support wholeheartedly that you go and do your research. I've invested my career in the PMP because, number one, I'm in the United States. Number two, I found an intense amount of value with the way the framework's standardized. Now, a certification does one thing, and it does it well. It shows you, that you have experience, and it shows the public you have experience, right? Well, the PMP certification goes beyond that. It's not just knowledge that it demonstrates. It also represents the fact that you can actually do the work. It tests you not just through your memorization, but it puts you through a very rigorous experience, and we'll describe that experience here in a bit. It's owned by people like you and me. Project managers who do this work, they volunteer and they create the questions, right? Other project managers volunteer inside a project management institute, and they support the credential and the credentialing. So this is a peer-driven environment. And once you have your PMP, if you want to strive to help make it better, you're invited to join the communities of practice. It's one of those community-driven experiences, and you can't really understand that until you actually have experienced it. So it's supported by experts, and it's for people like you. By the time you are applying the exam, you've had about 3 or 5 years of project management experience. So to an extent, you can call yourself an expert. And then the real rigorous training starts. Now, the exam assesses a lot of things. First of all, you have to apply and be accepted. That means it looks at your education. In the United States, did you get a high school diploma and did you get a university degree? You need a high school diploma or a GED in the US, which is school leaving certificate in the rest of the world. And that gives you an opportunity for a certain level of, requirements. You have to do a lot more project work in order to apply and be accepted if you don't have a university degree. If you do, all you need is about 2.25 years. That's 40. If you worked 40 hours a week for 52 weeks, in 2.25 years, you'd have enough hours. But that's not what they want to see. They want to see your experience across the last 3 to 8 years, leading and directing projects. Now, that means that they're assessing your education and your experience. They're also assessing your ability to work under a lot of crises, right? Urgency, having issues pop up, having risks being exposed and occurring. And that's what the exam duplicates. So this testing competence comes into play as well. Not only that, but once you have your PMP, then all of a sudden, you don't get to keep it the rest of your life. What do you have to do? You have to retain it. So every 3 years, you earn about 60 hours of personal development through either classes or presenting like I'm doing today, or writing white papers, or doing blogs, some type of public communication that represents your expertise. And that's how PMI actually guarantees that somebody with a PMP is continuing to develop their careers. So the PMP doesn't just represent that, like me, I got my PMP in 2003. It means that I'm relevant to today's expectations of project management.